Donald is talking about Greenland and it's affecting mortgage rates. How does this happen? If you are looking to buy a home and you're in the market, you're probably watching the news like, what the heck? Because mortgage rates just went down when Trump announced he would spend, or not he would spend, he would have Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac spend 200 billion buying bonds to lower mortgage rates. And then followed up with Greenland and the things that he's talking about doing there suddenly raising rates. How does that work? Well, unfortunately, a lot of and most of mortgage rates are dependent on the treasury and what the treasury yield is. And so some of these countries, it's speculated, may stop buying US treasuries, which can affect mortgage rates. And so much of rates and everything else are speculative. And so anytime stuff like this is going on, people are going to speculate and things are going to go up or down. But here's the deal. When Trump was at Davos and given all of his many speeches and Truth Social posts and all the other things, he keeps mentioning the plan that we talked about in the last video, which is stopping institutional buyers from buying homes. So big hedge funds, big corporations that buy a bunch of rental properties, stopping them from buying homes will help home buyers be able to afford homes. And unfortunately, it doesn't really move the needle a ton because there's not institutional buyers aren't buying a lot of homes right now. They were a couple of years ago, but they're not anymore. So it sounds really good. It gives you like this nice common enemy because nobody likes a hedge fund that buys houses. So it makes for a nice post and people say, "Yay, good job," but it doesn't do much for you, the home buyer. The problem is supply. And at the end of the day, if we lower rates, if we raise rates, it doesn't matter much if we don't increase the supply of homes. There's just more people that need a home than we have homes. And I haven't really seen much coming from the government at the moment talking about how they're going to increase supply, how they're going to get more homes built, because that's what ultimately will help bring price down. One thing that Trump did say in one of his speeches, which was interesting, was he started addressing lowering home prices because part of the thing of making homes more affordable, you would assume, yeah, like I want the price of homes to go down. But for most American families, a majority of their net worth is equity in their home. And lowering home values just across the board hits homeowners. And so you don't want to have a market crash where the value of homes goes down and all these other people are underwater and their net worths have been wiped out. The reason why he's attacking interest rates so hard is we want to have homes be more affordable without reducing the value of them by a substantial amount. And it's tough. Like, I don't think you can have your cake and eat it too. Like, there are markets right now where home prices are pulling back, where home values are pulling back. And can we have lower interest rates and mortgage rates to have more affordable housing? Sure. The biggest part of affordability is your monthly payment, and the biggest driver of that is mortgage rates. And so a lot of news and a lot of noise in the housing market today, but so much of it is noise. So much of it is just that mortgage rates have gone up a little bit. I think they may pull back a little bit, but I don't think they're going to shoot up or shoot down anytime in the super near future. This bill or legislation they're going to try to pass to stop institutional home buyers from buying a home, like, I don't think that's going to do much. Right? It may help a little, it may score some political points, but it's not going to kill demand and it's not going to increase supply. What we need to hear from the administration or from anybody, and look, I'm not big on government intervention in anything, but what policies and what moves can we make to make home building easier, to make home building more affordable? That's what I haven't seen. And for me, that's where the real solution lies. How do we get more homes? One thing on the idea for all these big institutions that own thousands of rental properties is incentivize them to sell them. If we maybe deferred capital gains tax on sales of single family homes by some of these investors, and even like mom and pop rental owners, people that own two, three, four, five rental homes. Like, there's a lot of smaller investors that own a little portfolio that they've built up over time. What if we gave those people an incentive to sell, like not having to pay capital gains tax the next 2 or 3 year window while pulling down mortgage rates, bringing more inventory to the market while hopefully getting closer to meeting demand? Those are things that I think would actually move the needle. But you know how government and politics goes. It's not always about actually moving the needle. A lot of times it's just about what's in the headlines and what it seems like you can do. So here's my big take with all the things. If you're reading the news, if you're following what's going on, geopolitical stuff across the country and around the world, and you're wondering how it affects you and your home search, I would say not really that much. And the reason I say that is it's easy to get caught up in all of these big things that are happening outside of your town and outside of your world, and most of all, outside of your control. There's nothing I can do to change these things that increase or decrease mortgage rates. And so I would say focusing on the things that you can control and using this information the best way you can to make the best decisions you can, it's probably the most important thing you can do if you're out there dealing with this housing market is making smart decisions based on your personal life, your family's life, your finances, your neighborhood, your market, the local place that you're looking to buy in. These bigger problems, man, they just take up a lot of your mental real estate and a lot of your time when most of that is best spent right in your local market. We're going to look at a open house with a client this weekend, and all this stuff's going on. But at the end of the day, how many offers is this house going to get? How well does this house work for them with how close it is to the schools? Like those are the types of questions that we should be spending more time on. But it's so easy. It's super easy to get caught up in the national headlines, in the national stuff. But ultimately, when you're buying a home and you're playing in this market, focus on your area, focus on your life and your stuff. The other piece is I empathize in the fact that it is the hardest time I've ever seen to buy a house. It's definitely the hardest time ever to buy your first house. But just because the game is hard to play right now doesn't mean you shouldn't be in it. Because we know the longer you wait to get into the game, the longer you wait to buy that first home, the longer you wait to own real estate, man, you just lose out on more of that compounding effect. And so, my take on the news headlines for this week, which there's a lot of them. And man, opening up the phone and checking the news every morning seems like more and more of a mentally exhausting thing every day. But I will say, a lot of noise. I don't think we're making a big impact on housing either way. And so I would try to remove as much of the noise as possible, focus in on your life, your stuff, your area, and don't get too caught up on this stuff. And don't get too discouraged. It's hard, but it's not impossible. And even though the game is hard to play, I think it's worth playing. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments.